The recording. Right. So good afternoon, one and all. I, Dr. Shalini Gautam, Associate Professor and Head Outreach, DME, along with my co-convener, Dr. Seema Ma'am, Associate Professor and Head Mentoring, DME, would like to welcome you all in a multidimensional leadership conclave, MDLC2022. Just to give you the brief background about DME, it is an A-grade premier educational institute affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University. It is offering 3 courses in law, 2 courses, BA LLB and BBA LLB, BBA and BJMC, and it is situated in the IT hub of NCR, which is Sector 62, Noida. So today's topic of MDLC is strengthening collaborative educational ecosystem from school to higher education. Now, if you talk about the education institutions, they are going through a paradigm shift. The teachers across the spectrum, whether schools or colleges, they were the frontline warriors in imparting the education to our next generation during the pandemic. With the NEP in force and lots of reforms happening in the higher education spectrum from the current academic session, we are going to witness some interesting times in the education sector. Schools are the foundation of education. And if students are not adequately prepared during the first 12 years, there is a little likelihood that they can meet with success in college or contribute as citizens in the workplace. So I think it is imperative for the colleges and schools to work out, to figure out how to work together so that they almost, grow together. Otherwise, they will face problems and separately, right? So today's panel discussions topic is quite relevant as per today's needs. So therefore, without much ado, I would like to introduce our esteemed panel members. First and foremost, Ms. Masuma Singha, who is the Principal MRA DAV Public School, Solan. She has the diverse education background. She has done her BSc and MSc in Physics from Aligarh Muslim University and B.Ed and M.Ed from Himachal Pradesh University. She has done her MPhil from Markandeshwar University, Ambala. She has the teaching experience of 25 years and has been appointed as the district level coordinator for NAS 2021. She is also working as the city coordinator and chief nodal supervisor on behalf of CBSE since July 2018. She is the CBSE empaneled resource person for conducting teachers training in mathematics, science, gender sensitivity, stress management, life skills, human values, mindfulness, gratitude, career guidance, classroom management, NEP 2020, and experiential learning. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Seema, you can introduce the other dignitaries, please.
Yes, ma'am, sure. I thought you'll be introducing ma'am also. So taking further, I'll just welcome Engineer Badal Singh. Sir is a principal from DAV Public School, Sitamarhi, Bihar, and BTech honors from UPTU and in electronics and communication, and vast area of experience in terms of education, management and administration. Working currently as a principal for the school, he's also been a senior coordinator for DPS Rudrapur, and achieved Young Principal of the Year award in 2021. And sir has been also awarded as the best emerging school for year 2022 from the state of Bihar. And many more accolades to his profile, like district toppers have been, are there under his guidance. And 5 students have cleared IIT JEE mains and UPSC without any coaching. That's what he emphasizes the most, and definitely the effort goes to him. Welcome to the conclave, sir, today. And moving ahead, talking about Miss Ravinda Kaur. Ma'am is an edu leader with a vast experience of 17 years in education. She's done her BA Mathematics and Diploma in Elementary Education and BA Masters in Education. She's been a senior school coordinator and head of primary school, and now is serving as a vice principal at PP International School, Delhi. And organization and leadership are her core skills. And she leaves no opportunity to be around children of all the age groups. She believes treating children as young adults who can do wonders if they are led to explore. So welcome, ma'am, to our MDLC 2022. And moving ahead, we also have with us our director, sir, Director DME, also Dean DME Management School, Professor Dr. Ravikant Swami, sir. He's done his PhD in and MBA in majors in finance. And Swami, sir, is a decorated and a diverse educationist and has his bachelor's in economics also from prestigious university. He has certifications and trainings from business schools like IIM Bangalore, IIM Calcutta, and IIFT New Delhi. Dr. Swami has an assorted list of subjects at his command that credits him with the excellence of a multivariate teaching style. He has published numerous research papers and supervised many PhD theses, dissertations at MPhil as well as MBA levels. We welcome you, sir, to our MDLC 2022.
We welcome all of you to this esteemed panel discussion. We would like to start with the panel discussion, and I would like to inform our esteemed panelists and the audience that we are going to have 2 rounds of this panel discussion. In the first round, all the panelists will be asked with a common question, and in the second round, specific questions would be asked from the panelists. We will also be taking questions at the end. So in case any person from the audience has any question from our esteemed panelists, they are most welcome to answer, to question. So the common question for all the panelists is, what are the basic parameters on which the collaboration between schools and higher education can be made? Like if you talk about schools and colleges, they are beginning to cooperate and work together. They are taking the baby steps in new and important ways, probably due to a recent awakening as to the mutual problems and connections and dependencies they have. So looking at in the present context, what would be the basic parameters to have this kind of collaboration? So I would like to invite Sir Badal Singh, sir, to please give his views on the same.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to express.
Sir, you are on mute, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to DME for choosing me as a panelist today. It's really a great opportunity to be such educationist around and discuss on the education and how education is important and how we can, make future generation capable enough for higher studies also. The question, if I start with, so first we need to understand what education actually provides to a student or a child. So if we talk about a student for education, it provides a skill to for livelihood. It provides creative thinking. It provides decision-making ability, and many more other things in which the student can easily uplift himself or herself to be a better citizen for tomorrow. So if I talk about education as a principle, we are going through like for new education policy, we are going through, right? And the new education policy emphasize on the soft skill of the students, vocational training, and the concept is from rote memorization to a learning by doing concept. So in this case, the higher education institute can help the schools a lot. The parameters which I think the higher education system should help the school, number one is that the kind of R&D higher education institutes has, the school can get a benefit out of that. Schools do have the labs, schools do have the faculty for that, but like the students of higher classes, they require more research, they require more knowledge, in which higher education institute can help the schools in order to, like I can say, R&D department. Number one parameter which I think it should be that R&D department can be enhanced when the collaboration is done with the higher institutes. Number two, which I think is some certification courses can also be introduced by higher education to the students of class 10th to 12th, right? The students of secondary level, senior secondary level, the schools must start with collaboration to the higher education institutes for some certification courses, right? It can be in computer, it can be in small management, it can be any vocational course, right? So these all things can be introduced. Number third, which I think is the multidisciplinary education we can introduce in the school with the help of higher education institutes, because today is the need of a multi-talented people, right? Single-handedly, if we will be doing the things, so that is not actually possible. So a multidisciplinary education can be, enhanced with the help of the people. Like in higher education, peoples, they have a higher qualification, number one. Number two, they are, well, if somebody is an associate professor or a professor level, so that definitely the subject knowledge which they are having, if they are working as a guest lecturer, a resource for a community development, which I say, which is also, uplifted by CBSE, like hub of learning they are creating. In hub of learning, we are calling the people from community to the school as a resource person, right? From the science colleges, from the management colleges, the people from management college, they come to the school to deliver a lecture on business studies, right? So that kind of collaboration will really help to develop a student in multidisciplinary education, right? And the last parameter, which I think is, as I say, that vocational institutes, they have already established, those who have already established themselves, they must help the school. They must take care of the school around and give the vocational training. Like in NEP also, it is compulsory for coding. It is compulsory for giving a vocational course. Like it is important for, computer knowledge. So it is now become like we should be in collaboration with the higher institutes in order to the class 11th and 12th students, like they are running behind only two courses, that is engineering and medical. Everywhere, the place where I am living, I find that the knowledge about the career option are very less. In Bihar, if I see, the knowledge of the career option is very less. The people only knows about the engineering or medical or more or less the defense forces. The fourth thing they don't. So the higher education institutes, they can help the schools in providing these vocational courses, which are certified by them, which can be certified by them. So this is how these are few parameters which I feel like that they will be the really helpful for the schools to uplift. So that is all from my side, and I again thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for raising those pertinent points. I think these are the points which the higher institutions also need to ponder upon, and the schools also need to be open up, for the higher institutions regarding these points. Thank you so much. So next, I would like to invite Ravinder ma'am to please express her views on the same.
Thank you so much. Badal Singh ji has very rightly pointed out few pointers wherein he's shared how schools can, come up with better strategies to have a better coherence and better camaraderie between the higher education and school education. So I would not like to talk about what schools should do because he's already spoken. I would not like to repeat, and he's almost covered everything. I have a suggestion for higher education organizations. I feel that higher education organizations, they look at near future, and hence they send their students for internships, for field trips. And I suggest that they should also look at the far, future, and should have some far-sightedness. And they should also make their students visit the schools, which will help them in planning for a future which is not so near. Let children understand, let school understand, let higher, college students understand what is happening in school. Let them interact with the school students, and let there be an organic, coherence and coordination between the both the levels of education. So right now, I feel that is very much missing. Say, there can be some sessions conducted for teachers also, from representatives from higher education institutes, wherein they express what is expected, wherein they express what is lacking, and so that those things can be taken care of. Belonging to the school education system, I feel nobody has ever expressed what is expected. Come and tell us. Let children come and tell us what's happening. Let children come and tell our children that this is what's required in higher education organizations, and this is what you're doing. Let them prepare themselves for what they're going to see ahead. The educators should tell, so that the school teachers can work accordingly. There should be, common. I'm really happy that we are having this platform where we are actually discussing all these things. There has to be more such platforms where people from higher education systems, people from school systems are sitting together, discussing what's lacking, discussing how it can be worked out. And hence, I think there should not be any problem.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was a well taken suggestion. And I think well begun is half done. So I think we have taken that flagship to start off on this.
I really congratulate you. Very innovative and very much required, session you've taken. And I wish that many more sessions and many more organizations take up this hint and they take it from there.
Yeah, thank you. So over to Ms. Masuma Singha now. So I would request her to talk about it. But before that, I would like to tell Director Sir that me and Masuma ma'am, we have a very old friendship together. Now it's the first time that we are holding a professional platform together. So yeah, I'm happy about it. And please express your views on the same.
Thank you, Seema ma'am. At the onset, I would like to thank DME Management School, Noida, for taking up such a wonderful topic. Ravinder ma'am had rightly said that nobody has ever asked what is expected out of us. And it is good that you have taken the initiative. Mr. Badal Singh had put everything together in a nutshell, and he has taken the national education policy also into account and how beautifully it has been formulated. But how are we going to move ahead on the ground? That depends on the collaboration which we can have between schools and higher institutes. There are certain points which I would like to share with others. Till now, nobody ever asked us what is expected, as Ravinder ma'am said. And the other part of the story is we don't even know where to go. We are only focusing on the students in our school. When they move out of the school, we have absolutely no idea what is happening, and especially in smaller towns. I am in Himachal and I interact with my students. Here they have only plan A, which is mostly 70% of the time it is either engineering or MBBS. Rest of the students, they have no idea what is going to happen. And even these students do not know what if they do not get a good medical college, if they don't get any medical college or a good engineering college. They have absolutely no plan. We do conduct career counseling sessions for students. But what I have personally observed is that whenever any institute comes to us that we want to conduct a career counseling session, it looks more like a marketing strategy. We don't get that feeling that the people in the higher education are actually concerned about the welfare of the children, and that is why they are informing them about the various career options which are there. When we are talking of collaborating between schools and higher education, it should start at an early age. That means right after class 8th. In most of the counseling sessions which I have seen, they only want to focus on 11th and 12th. When we tell them 9th and 10th also, this because they will choose the right stream only if they know what are they going to do. So there is no awareness amongst the students, and I would say also amongst the school teachers. There is no awareness. When we are looking at various parameters, so long-term relationship, which Ravinder ma'am had put it, that there should be far-sightedness. I would just put it in different words, that there has to be a long-term relationship between schools and higher institutes, and quality education should be for all income levels. That is another thing which is very important, because most of in this case, maybe even parents have to be counseled as that education is affordable. And in addition to it, I would say that colleges should expand their off-campus in-service offerings for educators. And we should get a feeling, the school should get a feeling that the higher education is actually concerned about the society as a whole, and not looking at things on a very short-term perspective. Our R&D support, which was spoken about by Mr. Badal Singh, that's an excellent thing, especially for classes 9 to 12. If we could get that kind of a support, it will make the teaching learning process much more innovative. Certification courses also has been shared by him. That would be something very good if we can have. And the skill development courses which NEP talks about, if that we could get some kind of a help, and that for that, even from class 6th onwards, if it could be just 15 days certification courses, that would go a long way in help the children. And providing vocational training, I would say if it could be done from 9th class upward, because children are at this stage, they have got a lot of potential, and if we can tap their potential at an early age, it is going to be much better. So I would say I've got a lot of demand list that we want this, but I feel that if we can work together on all these lines, it is really going to benefit the children in a long way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your views. I think all of us are agreeing to the point that there are certain things which the schools required, and not only for 11th, 12th standards, from the marketing point of view, that okay, the higher educations would need those students for the admissions and all, but also for the classes which are not, the students who are not yet prepared for their higher education. You have also rightly said that probably 9, 10 standards also, there could be sessions which would be telling them about choosing the right streams, and specifically in the smaller towns and all, it is pertinent to tell them that it is there are streams beyond medical and engineering, right? There are a lot of options which are available beyond medical and engineering. So after hearing so many views and so many, I can say, demands from the schools, so we have, eminent educationalists from the higher institution, Dr. Swami, with us. So I would like to ask you, sir, that, you have the illustrious career in academia of more than 20 years or so. So have you experienced any collaborations between schools and higher education, or what do you think, how should they be collaborating? Like, we have heard about all the views from the schools, but what do you feel are the points on which the higher education institutions can be collaborated with the schools? If there are any examples, already existing examples with us, you can probably share with us. Over to you, sir.
So I'll start like it's the Bollywood story. In Bollywood, music is part of the movies, while in Hollywood it is not. The music industry is totally separate. It is not the music industry. So same is the situation with the school and college education. While they should be together, they should work together. They should be working in an integrated fashion. They do not. They work in a very isolated fashion, as has been rightly pointed out by principals. I'll say pan-India principals, because we have principals from Bihar, from Himachal, from Delhi. Ma'am, how's the temperature at Solan? It's very hot at Delhi, huh? So,
yes, from Delhi standards, we are in a very good condition, though from Solan standard, we would say it is hot.
yeah, in Himachal, people always say that now Himachal is becoming hotter. The alienation should not be there. The school and college education should not be in an isolated fashion. The actual concept of education is from KG to PG. So where is the gap? What happens is that from KG to 12th is part 1, from 13th to 18th say is part 2. So there's a gap. Now, as my predecessors have, the previous speakers have very correctly said that whenever people approach them, it is more of marketing, and whatever they are doing, it is under the garb of marketing only. And yes, when we have marketing in mind, it is always a short-term approach. It is a myopic approach wherein we fail to look at the long term. Yes, in India, we have examples like Birlas, who had schools, students studied there, and then they went to the Birla colleges. Similarly, Vanasthali is an example, KG to PG. You can send a student in class 6th from school till PhD. There is one integrated model. So there are very few examples, while in the Western world, we find many examples. Now, how to integrate these two phases of education? One we call school, another we call higher education. I must say that college education should learn from school education, and school education has a lot to learn from the college education. Now, certifications is one area in which there can be a very good collaborative effort. Say, for example, a college running journalism course can hold very good courses in simple things like mobile photography or handling the camera or videography. Means it is so easy for them, but a school cannot conduct such a course. But a college having journalism course can easily do that. Similarly, the principals would agree that POXO is a mandatory thing, and a college having a law course has so many resource people who can easily speak on POXO. So this is how, taking this further, a college having a management course can easily talk about courses on banking, courses on insurance, courses on digital marketing, so on and so forth. So other than that, yes, career avenues is an area wherein the college people can always guide the students. They can tell them that, as Madam rightly said, that plan B should always be there. Traditionally people talk about becoming an engineer or a doctor, while we find that only, say, if I talk about especially the medical education, people who opt for biology, hardly 1% end up doing MBBS. So those 99% always have a feeling that, oh, I could not become a doctor. So that is where the role of colleges comes, and they can guide the students that, look, MBBS is not the whole world if you have taken biology. So this is the counseling part, giving them the plan B or even plan C, This is something which the college people can conveniently and efficiently handle. Other than that, the college people can also coach the students in terms of, say, how to prepare for JEE or NEET or CLAT or any such competitive exams. Even I believe there can be a collaboration in the area of sports. We have junior football and senior football. Why can't the juniors play with the seniors? They can play. So that is another area. And lastly, I believe that the college teachers can play a very important role in training the school teachers. Things like refresher courses, etc. They can very well be conducted by the college teachers, which can be beneficial for the school teachers. That's all from my side.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightenment and giving that first level exposure of how colleges have to, handhold the schools and how teachers have that. I think the onus lies on probably the teachers as well to handhold, the colleagues or the counterparts in the schools as well. And obviously DME gives us that platform. So thank you for that as well. Moving on to the second round, wherein we'll ask each one question for the panelists. Sorry. So first question from my side goes to again to Ms. Masumo. Over to you. That just want to ask you that there is a stark difference in the awareness level of the students in small towns and obviously in the urban centers. The kind of opportunities that they get are probably on the higher side in the urban areas. So how do you think this gap could be bridged, in your opinion? Obviously, we talked about what is the colleges should do, but yeah, how to bridge this gap between the students? Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Seema ma'am. As a school head, I would say, yes, there is difference amongst the students who are in urban centers and the ones who are in small towns. And if this, first let us see, why is this difference there? Life in a urban center is very fast. On the other hand, in small towns, life is moving at a much slower pace. So the environment has an effect on the psyche of the child. And that is the reason I feel that because of which sometimes the children in small towns are quite laid back also. If plan A, they would not be even thinking about plan B, just focus on plan A, and if that doesn't work out, then they are clueless what has to be done. It would be whatever the parents say. But in this age where we are talking of globalization, every information is available to the child, whether the child is in an urban area or a rural area. Even sitting in the village, children know what is from where to study. If I am talking of school children, we had recently gone through the pandemic where most of the children were in the villages, and we were teaching from the school, which is supposed to be one of the big towns of Himachal. And children were in far off areas. So they were attending classes through internet. They had all the facilities with them. So I will not say that there is a stark difference between these two. Technology has really brought them together. So gap is less. Now it is only the problem of attitude. And that is why we see this difference. If I look at it, my personal opinion, if I am, say, in Delhi, for even just standing 1 hour at the railway station or at the airport, I would see everyone has an objective. They would be moving around with precision. This is what I have to do. Same if I come to Solan, I am at the railway station or at the bus stand. Things are altogether different. And it is in the attitude. In an urban setup, I have seen children, they are ready to do jobs which are not traditional. They would go out of the way to do the job. Just like when children go out of India, when they are going abroad, they are ready to do jobs as a waiter or in the, all these kind of jobs. But moment they are in India, they would be reluctant to do that, and their parents would not allow it. So same difference comes here also when you are in an urban setup and in a small town or rural area. One is parents don't allow the children to take offbeat jobs. Even if I say child is very good in very good orator, has got very good writing skills, you'll rarely find that parents encouraging the children in smaller towns to take up these offbeat careers. So it is the mindset of the people. As far as the information is concerned, it is easily available at all the level, whether you are in urban area or you are in rural area. Maybe we have to change with time, counsel the parents, counsel the students, and a lot of hard work is required from the teaching fraternity, from schools and colleges in this regard. That's my view. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So I think in your this thing you have said that, the off-campus services from the universities, from the higher educations are required. So those off-service offerings, I think they need to counsel parents also, because with the advent of internet and all, the information is available.
Yes.
But that hitch to work on that information, to go for that, untraditional course or career option, that needs to overcome with the proper counseling and all. So moving ahead, there is also one point of view which I have arisen from all this discussion, that there is more of a marketing gimmick to all the support than anything else. So I would like to ask Ms. Ravinder, ma'am. There is a feeling of distrust, like it has been said by one of the panel members, regarding the more of a marketing gimmick rather than the genuine hand holding of the students and parents. So there is a distrust among schools and higher institutions. So the higher school administrators, they may ponder the motives of the neighboring colleges which are seeking closer ties, especially during a period when the competition among colleges for students is increasing. And university faculty, on the other hand, may perceive a lack of understanding by their counterparts in the schools in the need for basic research, because research is pretty strong. It's one of the focus areas in case of the university professors, and it is not the focus area in case of the school teachers. That's a given thing. So how to remove these differences or this lack of trust among these two parties? Over to you, ma'am.
See, lack of trust is very much, it has a basis. Like Masuma ji said, when it's about admissions, that marketing and everything comes up. And same as with schools, the school education all through is about taking admission in college. Only admission, nothing beyond that. We're not working to prepare children beyond that. We are working to prepare children take admission in college. So I think that's where the problem lies. The schools are working to create children who can easily take admission. Colleges are reaching out to take admission. So none of the institutes is actually thinking beyond it. So there's no I would not say that there is lack of trust. I would say there is lack of effort at both the ends. So that effort has to be put. And those efforts, now what can be those efforts? Those efforts can be better integration between school education and higher education. There can be several, I think new education policy to an extent is catering to it. When you spoke about working towards research, so now our children are working around case studies, our children are working around project works, which are forming a basis for research for them. So I think new education policy is trying to bring a change, but till the time higher education and school education come together, take up projects that are integrated, that need, effort from both. Say there can be projects that need school students to visit and interact and work with college students. There can be, projects and research tasks given to college students that require them to visit school. See, only, higher education, only people from college who visit schools are from College of Education, School of Education, nobody else. So that has to change. So students, like I had said earlier, also students have to visit to college students have to visit to schools, school students have to visit college, and then once school students go to several colleges, but they are only for field trips, and like Masuma ji said, that the purpose is again only marketing. That has to break. So we have to together work out several techniques and methods through which there can be better interaction. Some universities and colleges have started MUNs and student parliaments that involve participation of school students and college students, and there it is going really well. But more such, say we always have inter-school competition, inter-college competitions. Why not merge this and have different levels to it? So whether it is a competition, whether it is a project, whether it is teaching methodologies, I believe, students, the teachers, educators from higher education also should visit and take some trial lessons, take some demo lessons at schools, so they understand what we are going through. Because see, college educators ko paka pakaya saman milta hai to an extent. We are sending across ready learners. So we are prepared, although it is not perfect. That is why, hence this discussion. But to an extent, we are sending ready learners to you. If I'm presenting, if I'm a chef and I'm preparing a dish for you and you want to change in me, again, like I had said before, express, mujhe namak zyada chahiye, mujhe tikha zyada chahiye, right? So there has to be better discussion, better platforms, regular platforms where all those discussions take place, and I think everything will be taken care of. So far, we've not tried to deal with this problem. That's what I've realized now while talking to all of you. Neither higher education nor school education is trying. We are stopping at admission. So that has to change. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravindra ma'am. I think very valid point said. Till now, I used to think that we are getting the students corporate ready, but then you have added a different perspective to it, that you are giving a ready-made, student. Okay, before pandemic, yeah, I totally agree. But again, pandemic or no pandemic.
The world has changed. Pandemic
Correct,
has
correct.
changed the, even
Truly.
school education is trying to understand how to make things work out better.
True,
Because our students, especially I would say Indian students, are not conditioned to take education in hybrid or in online format. They are very much conditioned, places like Canada where half the year classes are taken up online. So they are conditioned to online classes. In India, online classes are just matter of a temporary arrangement. That mindset has to change, because now we are stepping in the era of pandemics. So every now and then these things will keep happening, and teachers are trying to change their teaching methodologies. But then now we have to go to the next step and try to change the conditioning of children and parents who feel that real education is only when students are actually physically going to their study places.
True. Well said, ma'am. Thank you. So over to Badal Singh ji. Just wanted to ask you about, yes, I understand there are a lot of challenges, but there have been instances of big institutions being adopting schools, especially in small towns, and of course the government schools also. So what are your expectations from these adoptions, and how effective these collaborations are going on? We would like to have a viewpoint from your side.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. So like you said, that there are some instances where the schools are adopting the schools, especially the government schools, right? So we are well known about the condition of the government schools in India. Okay, so there are certain proposals in which there are the things where government schools are being adopted by the schools in order to, for better education facilities, for better, improving the student quality. Like, for example, this question which you have right now asked is same related to the question which we discussed earlier also. Ki what is the lacuna we have in the government school or the schools in a small time? That is basic needs of the, lab is not there, computer is not there, and so many things are not there. So the schools, those who are earning profits, they are well established school. Those who are, they must, involve in these things in order to produce a better education. Until and unless we will not develop an infrastructure for the skill development of the students, जब तक हम लोग बच्चे को ये नहीं दिखाएंगे कि how is computer work practically, he or she will not be able to do that. So that is the question: are the government schools or the schools in the small town, are they doing that? They are not doing. So these kind of instances, therefore they are coming up in order to provide a better education, in order to improve the education system. Simultaneously, we are improving, like we are going with the digitalization, right? Everywhere we are talking about digital India, digital India, digital India. Is it prevailing in a right way? Or the Indian schools are competent enough to provide that kind of online services at the remote area level? The place where I am sitting in Bihar, although we have a best infrastructure around, but still I have seen the schools, those have, they do not have a proper electricity in the school. If light goes off, so the students have to stay in the, that hot only. So that kind of schools in a small town are running. They are running still. Okay, talent is there. Like our country, the talent is in the small town, and they have a they are away from all these kind of diversities. They are away from all kind of mobile phones, and so they are focused. They are more focused towards the studies. So if the higher education people or the schools which are already established or they are earning profit out of it, they must involve themselves. They must go school to school. They must apply for that. That we should adopt any one of the school. We should promote that, and we should give them the basic needs of the education, like laboratory. We should 1 year we can create any laboratory over there. 1 year we can create anything else. Expeditions can be taken care of. Those students should visit the schools with a good infrastructure and all, so that they can also be uplifted in that way. So my expectation out of that it will be like these adoption should be there, and the government should also help the school, like Delhi government is already doing, and few of the government in Odisha and Kerala, they are doing, right? They are improving their education policy. They are improving their education system. But the schools, the private schools, those who are already established, those who are already earning profit, they must improvise themselves, and they should involve themselves in spreading the education, not up to their school level. They should aware the people of the community. The school like education should be commercialized now towards the community and society. They must provide the awareness to other people also, that it should be there. That is my all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the for those important views. So what conclusion I can draw from all three of you is that that collaboration is required. The like Ravinder ma'am had said, the efforts need to be there. Probably we haven't thought about it in the beginning, but yes, now that the thinking is there, I mean, you spoke about that though the talent is there, even the amenities are missing, but in small towns, a lot of talent is there, which needs to be, hand-holded. So I would like to ask from all three of you, now that we have established that that collaboration is required. So I would like to ask, in fact, I would like you to vote that in case if there is an opportunity to associate with the higher institute, what the school would prefer. What would you prefer? You are the heads of your respective school. So what is it that you prefer? Is it the nature of affiliation, like the government school or the private university, government university or the private university or the deemed to be university, or the course which it is offering, say engineer, medical, or would you like to go for law, BBA, media as well, the institutes which are offering only these, or probably the proximity to your school, right? Would you like to go with the institute only which is there in Bihar or in Himachal or something like that, or the infrastructure of the institute? So these are the various things. So what would you prefer? I mean, what is the kind of combination that you would look at when we are talking about the collaboration between the higher institution and the schools? So, sir, why don't you start? I mean, why don't you vote on these parameters?
Definitely, like I said in the beginning also, the school or the higher education must focus on the multidisciplinary education, right? For example, like we are talking about certain only things are there like engineering or doctor. I give you a very small example. A career in voiceover artist. Voiceover artist. Nowadays, we have all the Hollywood movies, they are converting in Hindi. All the cartoon movies converting in Hindi. All the animation cartoons on the TV, they are dubbed in Hindi. So why can't a student should opt for a 6 months diploma in voiceover? He should be trained well and he should start earning. What National Geography Channel, Discovery Channel, they all are dubbed in Hindi. So that a career, instant earning is there. So why we are just implementing those things like a single project of a voiceover artist earns lakhs of rupees. So instead of becoming an engineer and going in that, weather climate condition, he has to visit, a civil engineer has to prepare that dam in that weather also. So that kind of, so many things we need to create. So multidisciplinary education is very important. For example, like sports also, we focus, generally schools, they do not focus on skill-based learning. Whereas I say, whenever you go in IIT, like for example, you are going in IIT, you have scored 98% of marks. In IIT, everybody has scored 98% of marks. Is there anyone who is with 60% or 50%? What differentiates you from them? How you will be out of that crowd? When you have a skill with you, not the academic. Academic तो सबके पास है, सब 98 वाले हैं. लेकिन आप उस चीज से कैसे अलग होंगे जब आपके पास कुछ स्किल होगा? You are a good dancer, you are a good singer, you are a good artist, you are a good dramatician, you are a good. So that education is not merely about bookish knowledge now. So I required a higher education institute should involve themselves in multidisciplinary, how we can promote the school is giving a bookish book knowledge up to class 12th. They are like ma'am Ravinda ma'am already told that we are preparing the students, that thing that we are doing. But apart from that, development of skill is very important. How we can differentiate our student from that particular crowd. They can say, yes, I am a good orator, I will represent my university. So university, is it government, private, it doesn't matter. Matter is that are we capable of providing that multidisciplinary education or not? So that is main.
Thank you so much, sir, for your views. Over to you, Masuma ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. And I think from all the discussion, one thing is for sure that school education and higher education, they are like two disjoint sets as of now. And we have to now work towards collaboration. And in collaboration, different points have come out, which is quite an eye-opener for me also. As head of an institution. For me, it does not matter whether it is a government university, a private university, whether it is in my neighborhood or not, because we are actually looking at skill development. And as Mr. Swami had pointed out, why not do short like universities which are offering journalism or management courses, even POXO is a part of it. So all those things which he was mentioning, in fact, I was jotting it down. If any university would be willing to do with our students, and I am looking at it right from class 6 onwards, if some kind of short-term module can be prepared, whether it is a combination of online, offline, only offline, whatever it is, as long as it benefits our student, we are open for that. And it would be, I think, a huge welcome from the students as well as the parents if such initiatives are taken. That's my viewpoint. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your views. Ravinder, ma'am.
Gee, I feel that I'm unable to start my video, but anyway, I feel that to me, one thing that matters the most is the vision of the institution that we are going to collaborate with, if at all. Their vision in terms of the project of collaboration and on its own, their vision in terms of taking up students along and teachers along. And I really liked when Masuma ji said that she's looking at class 6, students of class 6 onwards, because that's when the mindset starts building up. So I second that thought. And also the institute's vision in general, because if I'm handing over my children to an institution, and if I'm, you know, giving that exposure to my children, I think it I should have the complete I have the complete responsibility of handing over my children to in the right hands. So the institute's vision in general would also matter a lot, I think. Yeah, that's it from my side.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your words. Now, I would ask Swami sir, Ravikant Swami sir, to, sir, you are representing one of the premier institutes, and we would like to know how higher institutes can, how can we meet those expectations, and how can we handhold the students from the very beginning and help them to shape their career? When I think everybody is expressing a lot about what they expect from the higher institutes. Over to you, sir.
I fully agree with what the other panelists are saying, because they are representing the schools. This hand holding, rather than simply touching and coming back with a marketing in point of view in mind, that should not happen, and which is generally happening. Say, number one, there is no area of collaboration. If at all it is the marketing angle, which would seldom be for the long term. So I think the hand holding exercise between the higher educational institutions and the schools should start right from, say, 6th or 7th, wherein the colleges start sharing their expertise. As I said that, say, mobile photography. So I believe a student of 7th is into mobile photography. So if a college running journalism conducts a course for mobile photography for a student of 7th or 8th, so that is the point from where we should start. And then there are various areas of collaboration which have been very well described by the other panelists today. So in all those areas, this hand holding exercise should happen. Ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your views. So it was indeed a wonderful discussion. I would like to ask if any of the audience would like to ask any question from our esteemed panelists, because many of the students have also joined in from schools, from the from us, from our institute as well. DME also, I can see few names. So if any of the students would like to ask question from the eminent panelists, they are most welcome to ask. You can raise your hand. Anyone has any question? Okay, so I think all the doubts have been cleared by the esteemed panelists. So over to you, Seema ma'am, for the vote of thanks.
Yeah, I think it was a wonderful brainstorming. I guess it turned out to be kind of brainstorming, wherein probably all the panelists came to on the same platform. That was a big takeaway for today, wherein Masuma ma'am talked about collaborations from 6th onwards, and also spoke about the attitude of the students with regards to the semi-urban and the Delhi and all cities, wherein she finds a big gap. And there she rightly said that the network and the mobile connectivity is available in the remotest areas nowadays. But it's all about that attitude with the students, and definitely looking at that multidisciplinary, a collaboration. And definitely Badal Singh ji talked about root memorization to be converted to soft skill development, as regards NEP also says the same. And he very well spoke about research, vocational trainings, certificate courses, wherein he rightly said that students want to do much more, but unfortunately the facilities in the rural areas are not such. And where Ravindra ma'am gave suggestions of that schools, internships should not only be conducted in the corporates or in the other places. It should be students should be sent to the schools, wherein they can handhold the juniors, the school students, and tell them firsthand about what's going to happen and what are the expectations from them when they reach the college level. I think listening from their own counterparts, the seniors, rather than the teachers, would be most effective. That's what I think. And organic coherence, of course, is very important between students and colleges. And she also rightly spoke about having MUNs and having collaborations thereby. And of course, so last but not the least, Swami sir talked about Plan B being mandatory. He agreed to the fact. And he said that, yes, colleges can provide refresher courses, counseling, skill set courses like mobile photography and all, which obviously should not be just a marketing gimmick for the colleges, for the higher educational institutes, but also, serve the purpose firsthand. With that, I, Dr. Seema ma'am, Associate Professor, DME Management School. I'm quite humbled and honored to be presenting this vote of thanks today. I extend my gratitude to all the eminent speakers here from different parts of the country, which we could have an opportunity to hear them out. You graced this occasion of today's MDLC 2022. Thank you so much. All the speakers are strong academic leaders and, of course, nurturing the leaders of the future. And it was wonderful to hear from all of you. Looking to forward to meet you very soon. It's not just the beginning, it's just the beginning that I would say. It's not the end of our association, and we'll be inviting you in the forthcoming events as guests, judges. Maybe we have some more collaborations to begin with. I hope you'll take out your precious time and impart it here with us. Also thank our director, sir, who's the backbone of our college. Also thank my co-moderator for today, Dr. Shalini Gautam, and all the students who are a special audience. That's the budding youth. I think they must have got many takeaways. So that's why they didn't have any questions. And I can vouch that life after college definitely would be smooth, wherein we are talking about this, organic transformation and transition from school to the secured college life. And being the mentoring head of the college, we work a lot towards providing this stress-free environment to the youth, apart from whatever curriculum we have at hand. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much.
I would also like to say thanks, and just want to add one thing here, that we are going to work on all the suggestions that have been given by the eminent panelists, by all the principals, and probably we will come back to you in a week's time or in 15 days, and probably we are going to have certain programs for your 6th class students as well. So looking forward to have a long-term association with all of you, and not just this panel discussion of 1.5 hours. Probably we will be in touch to offer much more to you. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
We will be also looking forward because giving an environment is very important.
True.
Right, sir.
Right.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.